How's everybody doing? Yes, yes, yes. It is so good to be back today. I am Jerry Mason, and I am your Purpose Positivity influencer in Summerville, South Carolina. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. Please come on in, come on in. We are so delighted to have you today for another powerful message that the Lord has laid on my heart. So thank you so much for joining me. It is my mission to show up as often as possible and to give you words of encouragement, enlightenment, humor, education, motivation, inspiration, all of that all balled up into one Purpose Positivity moment. Because as we, go through these changes in the world today, everybody wants to have something positive that they can feed on. So I just want to put a little nugget out there as often as possible. So today's message is, what does your look like? What does your reboot look like? You all know we are beginning to open the world back up again, in stages. Things are steadily opening back up. But what I want you to think about is, I want you to think about what that means for you personally and professionally. Now, I've given it quite a bit of thought, and some things that I'm going to be doing was already being in the making before we even went into this quarantine. So some of the decisions and some of the changes that I'm making were already in the planning stage. So the question is, what do you plan to let go of, or what do you plan to add to or do more of as we get on the other side of this? There are things that you were doing before that you're going to no longer do. There are things that you were doing before that you want to do more of. And then there are some new things that you should consider doing. I was in a Zoom meeting the other day, and that question came up for us. What are some of the things that you're no longer going to do? What's going to be different once we get out of this quarantine? And so naturally, there were different statements about things that people wanted to do. I'm going to share a couple of things that I said I wanted to do and one other person. I did 3 things that I wanted to do. The 3 things that I wanted to do was, I am going to drive in the rain. And I know that sounds like, oh, it's no big deal. People drive in the rain all the time. I am one of those people who do not like to drive in the rain. And when I was doing Uber, I never drove Uber when it was raining unless I got caught in the rain while I was out there. And people who know me, they know that I don't go to events. I try not to unless I've already bought a ticket and I don't have no choice and I don't want to lose my money. I don't go to events in the rain. I mean, it's just one of those things that people knew about me. Well, guess what? Going forward, once this is over, I am going to drive in the rain. Another thing that I'm going to do is, I am going to try more new restaurants. And I'm going to eat out more often. I have a tendency to eat at the same restaurants all the time. I really don't eat out a lot unless somebody invite me. But being in this quarantine, I realize, and I know some people are going to say, well, that's money that you're going to be spending. You only live once. I am going to eat out more. That's my decision. If you choose not to, then that's on you. The other thing that I'm going to do different is, hi, Troy. Thank you so much for watching. I'm right in the middle of it. The other thing that I'm going to do different is, I am going to establish better relationships with my family. Now, that's a broad picture. Got a whole lot of family members. I'm going to establish better relationships with as many as will allow me to do that. One person in the group yesterday said that the thing that they're going to do different is, she said she is going to have less meetings. And she will no longer waste time sitting around waiting for people to show up. She said, basically, you can talk to me on the phone. We can talk by Zoom. And then if a meeting is warranted, then we can have a meeting. And I understand that 100%. Because one thing that we have learned during this time of quarantine is that time is valuable, is short. So when we get on the other side of this, there should be a lot of things that we are doing different. And nothing should go back to normal for nobody. So as I always say, don't panic. Find the positive as we decide what our reboot is going to look like for each of us individually. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you on my next video. Bye now.